All right, you know what time it is. Neil Ratner Ratak here with a story. August 31st, 1985, Dire Straits started a 9-week run at #1 on the Billboard charts with their album, Brothers at Arms. And today, I thought I would tell you a few things about the band and the album you might not know. But as usual, a little background first. All right, so in 1977, Mark, his brother David, John Isley, and Pick Withers formed the band Dire Straits. And in that same year, the group recorded a 5-song demo tape, which included the song Sultans of Swing. Now, there was a DJ at BBC Radio named Charlie Gillette, and he had a radio show called Honky Tonk, and the band decided to go speak to Charlie to get some advice on what to do with their demo. Now, they were really only looking for advice, but Charlie liked the song Sultans of Swing so much that he began to play it on his show. And 2 months later, the band had a record deal. I wonder if you could do that anymore. Probably not. All right. So Brothers in Arms was their 5th studio album, and it was released in May of 1985. Now, the album was recorded on the Caribbean island of Montserrat, and in 1979, George Martin had built a recording studio on the island, which for more than a decade played host to recording sessions by many well-known artists, including Elton John, my old friend Michael Jackson, and the Rolling Stones. And then, in 1989, Hurricane Hugo destroyed the studios. And in 95, a volcanic eruption devastated the island. And speaking of hurricanes, if you're anywhere near Hurricane Dorian, get out. Looks like a really nasty storm. You don't want to be caught in it. Okay, so Money for Nothing, a single from the album Brothers at Arms, became Dire Straits' most commercially successful single and won a Grammy in 1986. Now, as the story goes, this is a funny story, man. I could totally imagine it. Mark Knopfler was in New York City, and he stopped by an appliance store. And at the back of the store, they had a wall of TVs. You know how they used to do that? And they were all tuned to MTV. Now, Mark saw a man working there, dressed in a baseball cap, work boots, and a checkered shirt. He was delivering boxes, but he was standing next to Mark, and he was watching the bank of TVs. And Knopfler was sort of overhearing the guy coming up with lines with, "What are those Hawaiian noises? That ain't working." Now, according to Mark, the lead character in Money for Nothing is a guy who works in the hardware department store in a television, custom kitchen, refrigerator, microwave appliance store. He's singing the song. I wrote the song when I was actually in the store. I borrowed a bit of paper and started to write the song down in the store. I wanted to use a lot of the language that the real guy actually used when I heard him because it was more real. What a song, right? Isn't that a cool song? Okay, so Knopfler modeled his guitar sound on ZZ Top guitarist Billy Gibbons' trademark guitar tone. Knopfler had solicited Gibbons' help in replicating the tone, and according to Billy, he didn't do a half-bad job considering that I didn't tell him a thing. Now, Knopfler was using his Gibson Les Paul going through a Laney amplifier. Listen to this. While setting up the guitar amplifier microphones in an effort to get the ZZ Top sound, his guitar tech, who was in the control room, heard an amazing sound before the producer Niels Dorfman was even finished arranging the mics. According to Dorfman, one mic was pointing down at the floor, another was not quite on the speaker, another was somewhere else, and it wasn't how I would want to set things up. It was probably just left from the night before when I'd been preparing things for the next day and I hadn't really finished the setup. But what they heard was exactly what ended up on the record. No additional processing or effects were used during the mix. The songwriting credits are actually split between Mark Knopfler and Sting, of all people, who sings the line, "I want my MTV." According to John Ilsley, Sting used to come to Montserrat to go windsurfing. Montserrat was a really cool island, really pretty, before it got totally destroyed. And apparently Sting had come for a little dinner to the studio to hang with the guys. We played him money for nothing, and he turned around and said, "You've done it this time, you bastards." Mark said if he thought it was so good, why didn't he go and add something to it? Well, that's exactly what he did. So Money for Nothing was also one of the most played videos on MTV. I'm sure you all saw it, and was a very early example of computer-generated animation. And that was it. Brother in Arms, Money for Nothing. Yeah, I want my MTV. Okay, what happened to MTV? It went away with the times pretty much. All right, that's my story for today. Neil Ratner, Rock Doc. Like I said before, don't take Dorian lightly. If you're anywhere near where it's coming, make sure you're prepared, cool, get out if you can. All right, so my book is still available on the website, neilratnerrockdoc.com. If you order it there, let me know how you want me to autograph it. It will be my pleasure. Also, listen to me on WDST Radio Woodstock, also on iHeartRadio, every Saturday and Sunday at 3 o'clock. For a segment of This Week in Rock. I actually got a very cool story about Tina Turner today, so turn me on at 3 o'clock Eastern Time. And the Rock Doc podcasts are coming. And just to give you a little hint, the name of the podcast is going to be Music is Medicine. And I'll let you figure out what that all means, and I'll tell you more about it as time goes on. All right, that's it for me today. Fall is in the air, and it's Labor Day weekend, so enjoy the rest of the weekend if you have tomorrow off. And if not, have a great week. Join me on Facebook, DST, buy my book, and I'll see you real soon. All right, bye for now.